Hi guys, how's it going? What's up? 7 months on T? Yep, time does pass, doesn't it? You know, actually, I just realised this. I don't even know if I've written it down. This month, I got my appointment come through for the NHS Gender Clinic. I was first referred in February-ish, and the appointment is for February, so exactly 12 months. In the first letter, they said it would take 14 months, so to get it a little bit earlier than expected, definitely a bonus, super exciting. Yeah, it's good. So let's go through it. 7 months. Oh, by the way, this is gonna be the last one for 2017, which is when I started T. You know, it's a mad journey, and 2017 is definitely going to be that year. The more I look at it in hindsight next year and in the future. Merry Christmas, and it's onesie season. So yeah, it's wonderful. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down quite a while back actually is being just looking a lot younger. I've done some YouNow streams and I've asked people how old I look, and they've told me how old they think I am. I've had 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. I'm 25. So obviously I look right now way younger than I am. Which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, just it depends. I've had people sort of open the front door, look at me and just say, oh, are your parents at home? And I'm like, I'm not a kid, like, what? I don't know, really confusing, to be honest. And when you're a kid, you have a sense of illegitimacy, and having lived as an adult for however many years, you know, up to 24, let's say, before going on T, I would have been 18 or more for 6 years, which is quite a long time. And it's not about the age, it's about your life experience, you know, doing things as a grown-up, right? So all of a sudden to kind of be treated like, oh, where's your parents? It's like, excuse me? But anyway, that'll pass. So the private GP that I saw, you know, to guide me through getting on T and refer me to another psychologist and to do the sort of the initial part of medically transitioning, closed his practice. So I took a video, like a sort of, this is the last time I'm here sort of video, the last time I saw him recently. So I think I might include that in this video as well. And so it ends. I'm on Wimpole Street, in the building where Trans Health was. And it's so unbelievable because I came here for the first time 6 months ago. And I was so scared because the first time, it was the big first step. It was just, and now barely 6 months later, it's closing down. It's such a strange feeling. I feel like this has been such a massive part of my life. And I am now here for the first time. The most intense 6 months ever. Okay, bye. So yeah, I did see my doctor for the last time. The idea is that, you know, I'm going to finally have my appointment at the NHS clinic, so they're going to hopefully pick it up from there. But at this last appointment, I had another set of bloods, and I spoke about them at the 6 month mark, But we just had a chat about, you know, what's next, and he was quite optimistic that, you know, since my appointment with the NHS clinic is reasonably soon, I should be in a reasonably good position to move forward from this point. You know, we looked through the bloods, we talked about the future. I asked a bunch of questions that I could use for my future reference in terms of how to interpret my blood results, and, you know, what to look out for and what to do if something isn't right, and stuff like that. Something that I've noticed recently is whenever I break into sweat, or whenever you know, I used to do cycling, you know, back before it was super freezing, and whenever I'd be doing it for like 10 minutes really intensely, and I'd start really sweating, I would just get hives and like this rashy, hivey feeling. I thought it was because of where I applied my gel, but then I cleaned that off and I still got it, and then I got it in random areas that have nothing to do with that I put the gel on. So it's got nothing to do with the gel. It's just you know, I've got eczema as well, so I am kind of like a, you know, things happen through my skin, apart from acne, thankfully. I really don't have an issue with acne, but yeah, my skin is quite sensitive, so a sort, you know, I thought it was just to do with exercising, but it wasn't, because once I was in this group situation, and I started talking about something, and so I felt sort of quite self-conscious about everyone suddenly looking at me and listening to what I was saying, so that breaking into a sweat sort of thing also made me kind of a bit itchy, and kind of yeah, it's hard to describe. I don't know how to describe it, like a hivey, rashy sort of sensation, but I don't think it actually turns red or anything, so it's kind of a brief sensation. Nah, it's just puberty really, isn't it? I think during first puberty I had horrendous eczema on my face and neck. It was horrible. I've got eczema now, but it's definitely nowhere near as bad as it was then. I know how to handle it now. It's not so much of a big deal anymore. And also, you know, I had a lot more weight around my hip area when I was a teenager, and over time I sort of grew a bit taller, and started leaning out, and I genuinely had like a thick ass, which I don't anymore, so my overall shape and everything has definitely changed considerably even after the initial burst of puberty stuff happened. So I feel like this is what's happening now, where at the beginning it's just a lot of random things happening, and I put on weight as well, especially around my face. I didn't put on that much weight on my body, except, you know, the stomach area became quite prominent, but I think my face puts on quite a lot of extra fat. And I expect in the future it will lean out again like it did the first time around. So I think it, you know, there's probably a lot of changes that are yet to become obvious, and you know, over sort of longer term, basically. Another thing is my throat. Obviously my neck, the cartilage on either side has grown, and obviously the actual area in the middle where there is some, you know, more protrusion going on. A thing that I noticed that sometimes if I'm in an awkward position or whatever, and then I swallow, I can feel the bits in my throat adjusting and like pushing each other and readjusting, which I didn't before, so that's definitely been happening. Another thing that I noticed, I don't know if it's just in my head, but I swear the sort of top portion of my nose, that it kind of looks like it's a top layer over the bottom parts, has become more obvious, and I think it probably grew a little bit, so that this bit on top is a bit bigger, and you can sort of see the roundedness of it on top a bit more than before. I just looked in the mirror once and I just sort of thought, what is that thing? I never used to be able to see the outline of this bit on the top so much, And I was like, oh my god, has it grown? And I know someone else said that their nose grew as well, so I was like, okay, so this could potentially actually happen. Anyway, so that's for 7 months. Last one of 2017, and then the next one is going to be in the new year, on 8 months on T. So yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good, what can I say? Very exciting. And then 9 months on T, I will actually be having my first appointment with the NHS Gender Clinic, so see how that goes. And I've been looking into surgeons and surgeries more, and I just feel like I have like certain moments when I really look into it, like really intensively, and then I just get so drained and overwhelmed, and then I just sort of leave it to one side, and then I go back to it and that sort of thing. And I had one of those moments recently, and it can be so overwhelming, but like seriously, just taking it one thing at a time. Also, of course, I actually forgot to write this down this month. I have got my period still, but it is getting lighter and lighter. So my doctor said that sometimes it takes a long time for it to subdue, and to be honest, I'm not that bothered, in the sense that I feel like having a hysterectomy is the end point of that. So even if I didn't have periods, I'll probably still worry about it and have to think about it and keep certain things in mind, you know, so I feel like whatever's, I don't really care until I actually have surgery. Anyway, so that's for month 7. See you in month 8. Have a happy new year, etc, etc, etc. Tuning out. My name is Fluffy McFuzzfuzz, and I'm a polar bear. How do you do? How do you do? Okay, bye!